Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert, the founder of the True Health Mastery Institute of Holistic Personal Health Management. And tonight I am going to be talking about enzymes and just how important they are to keep us alive and thriving and perpetuating all the trillions of cells and biological processes that go on in our bodies every moment. What keeps us going are the enzymes. So I can never stress the importance of them enough because uh, people will often think that they're getting enough raw food enzymes, but when indeed they check their diet and they remember what they've eaten for the day or what they've gotten into habit of eating all the time, then they're going to come up short. And so I want to really emphasize the importance of dietary enzymes so that the body can make its own enzymes. So there's two different kinds of enzymes, the body enzymes that we produce ourselves that we cannot produce without the raw foods in our diet. So I'll be going into a little bit of more in-depth detail on that. But welcome back to my channel, those of you who have already subscribed to my channel. And now that I'm thinking of it, if you're new here and you like what you see, and if you peruse my other videos on this channel, then please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, of course, on here on YouTube. And also just hit the like button and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified of these weekly videos that my institute will be posting or have been posting every single week. So every Friday, I gather together with my members and we have a discussion on the topic of the week. And once that video is turned off, that's when the real discussion begins and the real, even more in-depth learning occurs with my members. So if you're considering becoming a member, then I'll show you how to do that. Well, since I have you right now, you can just go to holisticchoices.com and look at the True Health Mastery Institute link on the left side of the page. And you can click on that and you can read all about what all the perks and advantages of becoming a member. Most of all, you will be able to master your health, master your nutritional wellness, which is the very foundation for every single way you can possibly be healthy. So the health protective nutrients, the full range of all known essential nutrients, and the composition of the type of food that you're taking in. There's a bad way of eating food, and there's an optimally healthy, healing way of eating food, choosing foods. So this is what I do every single week with my members at the True Health Mastery Institute. Usually I have members with me on Friday night lives, but this is Monday night. I was unable to, due to a lot of circumstances that happened, I could not meet with my members last Friday. So as a consolation, I'm going ahead and recording the video anyway that I would have recorded with them. And so, and of course, you YouTube members always get the benefit of the first hour of our meetings so that you can get a taste of what it's like to gather the right information because there's so much misinformation out there, right? Misinformation and even propaganda. Someone's always trying to sell you something and it sounds good if you're not informed enough, which is why I started the Institute so that you can benefit from my 45 or so years of research and producing nutritional healing protocols for clients and my students and readerships and audiences. So anyhow, tonight I'm going to share with you what I pulled a few facts. And I will teach you a little bit about what I have learned about enzymes and my experience and practice as well. So let me share my screen here. And I shall pull up the document. All right, so this week's topic I titled Much Ado About Enzymes, the Vital Proteins for Vibrant Aliveness and Preventing Degenerative Health. And you will find as by the end of this video what I mean by that. So the topics I'll cover are what are enzymes and why are they so critical to our health? Food enzymes and the body's enzymes, the catalysts for perpetual aliveness, why enzymes are called the spark of life, what sparks them, what makes them go, how enzymes prevent degenerative and diseased conditions in the body, preventing the inflammatory enzymes that show up when something is wrong, and foods containing proteolytic enzymes that prevent inflammation and aid in health recovery. So I'll cover all of those subjects in detail for us. So the first one is, what are enzymes? Enzymes are types of proteins that are the biological catalysts necessary for perpetuating our aliveness, making it possible for ongoing cellular processes and all living things to continuously function throughout life. So we need enzymes to keep us going, to keep us alive. Produced by all living organisms, plants, animals, and microbials, we all produce enzymes, and we all require enzymes taken internally so that we can produce our own enzymes. Without enzymes, most biochemical reactions would take much longer and would not be fast enough to sustain life. So everything stays inert, everything stands still without an enzyme to spark all these multiple trillions of biochemical reactions that go on in our own bodies. Cells synthesize and contain 1,000 or more enzymes. One of our multiple trillions of cells, 37 trillion cells to be exact, each one of these cells manufactures 1,000 or more enzymes. And these are the catalysts for the trillions of biological processes or actions that are vital for maintaining life. So the body's enzymes, the enzymes that we produce, the body's active cells require the ongoing production of thousands of enzymes to meet its demand for its trillions of metabolic cellular actions. Digestive enzymes produced in the glands of the digestive organs are as follows here. So we have our salivary glands in the mouth for initial steps of digesting foods before swallowing, and that's a very, very important first step for beginning the digestive process of what you put into your body. The gastric glands from the stomach, we have glands in the stomach for primarily digesting proteins. So the hydrochloric acid and the enzymes that are in there working to break down those molecules of our protein foods are beginning to break those down to smaller proteins. So those proteins begin to be reduced to smaller and smaller proteins until they are just fundamentally the building blocks of all proteins, which are the amino acids. So then we have the intestinal and pancreatic glands from our pancreas for digesting proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So not only do we have certain glands in the stomach for digesting our proteins, we have the other intestinal and pancreas glands for digesting proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So our pancreatic glands also break down the nucleic acids, DNA and RNA of all foods in the small intestines. So we take the DNA of our foods and our digestive system starts breaking those things down, and then it begins to detect how it can be used, how these things can be used. So when the nucleic acids or the DNA and RNA from food enter the small intestine, the pancreas releases enzymes called deoxyribonucleic acid, or rather the enzymes for deoxyribonucleic acid. So this enzyme is deoxyribonuclease and ribonuclease. So anything that ends in ASE is an enzyme. So pancreatic deoxyribonuclease and ribonuclease enzymes break down DNA and RNA in our foods into smaller nucleic acids and nucleotides. So they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This is the only way that our cells can absorb nutrients. We can't absorb, huge chunks of food immediately. Our body has to break those nutrients down until they're small enough to fit through our very discerning cell membranes, our plasmic cell membranes of every one of our trillions of cells. So these reduced nucleic acids and nucleotides are absorbed into those cells where the protein manufacturing ribosomes translate or read their sequences of mRNA genetic code. They're also called the codons. If you ever saw a diagram, a very simple diagram of the DNA molecule, the double helix, the vortex shape, then they will have depicted like rungs of a ladder, straight lines in between the structure of the DNA. So those genes that are sitting there are called the codons. So they direct, to direct the synthesis and building of new proteins using the fundamental building blocks, amino acids, which I've already mentioned, fundamental molecules having been reduced as a result of digestion of protein foods. Okay, I do get ahead of myself. Sorry for the stammering. I'm really tired. I've had a very long day, but I was determined to create this video for everyone tonight. So now liver functions as a digestive gland for fats, producing bile, a fluid that breaks down and aids their digestion and absorption. So in order to digest fats, we have to produce bile coming from the liver, and that's going to break down those fatty acids and reduce them to, or fats, and reduce them to fatty acids. And that's where the body can allow these fatty acids to enter our cells and do their metabolic work. Okay, so I thought I would share with everyone the different kinds of digestive enzymes that are secreted by the pancreas alone. So the pancreas is the organ that secretes insulin when we have too much blood sugar, and the insulin helps take up the excess blood sugar into our cells so that it can be used for energy. And it also, if there's not enough blood sugar in the bloodstream, then the pancreas will produce the hormone called glucagon, which helps infuse a little bit more blood sugar into the bloodstream so that it can be carried to the brain and fuel our muscles and fuel all of the multiple trillions of activities that our cells do every day, or every moment, I should say. Okay, so, and we're talking about the enzymes only produced by this one organ. So you can imagine all the different enzymes that our bodies produce in every single organ system in the body. So amylolytic enzymes is one, and then the amylase enzyme, for breaking down carbohydrates and starches. The lipolytic enzymes, such as the lipase, so that's going to help break down fats into triglycerides and eventually down to fatty acids and eventually down to two monoglycerides. Okay, phospholipase, A2, that's another enzymes produced so that we can digest fats. And so we have a phosphatidylcholine producing a free fatty acid and lysophosphatidylcholine. Those are mouthfuls. And since it's very late for me, I am slowing down my words so that I can make sure I pronounce these correctly. And also we have carboxylusterase. Notice they all end in ASE because they're enzymes. So that breaks things down into cholesterol esters, smaller molecules from cholesterol, lipid-soluble vitamin esters, so that when we take in fat-soluble vitamins, we're able to utilize them, and glycerides. So they have different size molecules, the tri, di, and monoglycerides. So as the body starts breaking things down, the smaller and smaller they get, the more easily they can enter our cells to do the work. So then we also produce proteolytic enzymes. So the pancreas does a lot more than just secrete insulin, right? So it's actually a digestive aid accessory organ to the digestive tract. So it also produces the proteolytic enzymes, the enzymes that break down proteins like trypsin and chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase A and B, elastase, and then we have the nucleases. So our bodies can also break down the DNA of the foods we take in, whether it be plants or animal tissues, right? So the deoxyribonuclease, it splits this phosphodiester linkages adjacent to pyrimidine nucleotide. I know they're very technical terms, but if you were to, just for the fun of it, just look every single one of these up, you'd get images and photographs and things like that. So that's beyond the scope of tonight's call, but I have usually produced, images so that a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? But as you can see, I put in the link to the source, So, I mean, you can read all about the exocrine functions of the pancreas, and it's really fun to just do a deep dive once in a while and expand your knowledge. They have wonderful diagrams, and sometimes they have actual photographs or some kind of depiction of what it actually looks like. Uh, this is a very clinical, medical kind of approach, but it's actually very simply put, it's not highly technical. So it's ideal for expanding your knowledge. And of course, scientists love to use graphs and such, and they like to depict things, in graph form like this. So, it's kind of fun to do a deep dive. Now, if we were to go over to, let's see, this is what I like to do. I like to take a break and go and explore. So let's see, pancreatic enzymes. And if you want a picture, then they're all over the place. And you can, when you do a Google search on pancreatic enzymes, it'll give you a lot of information about enzymes. But when you look at the images, that's when it really gets fun because you have a wonderful picture of just exactly, the kinds of enzymes that the pancreas will produce. And this is what the pancreas looks like. It's off to the side of the intestine. Just as it leaves the stomach, it goes through the duodenum and into the small intestines. It keeps going down and down, right? But this is what the pancreas looks like generally, and you can get all kinds of fun information just by exploring, what the fundamentals of what the pancreas does. Pancreas is pretty large. The stomach is here, and the liver is much larger than the stomach, and the pancreas is a pretty good size compared to the stomach as well. So, here's the visual for you, those of you who are visual learners. If you want to share that information with a kid, then this is kind of a fun thing to do too. So it shows you the different enzymes or the fundamental enzymes that it takes to digest carbohydrates and protein, the meats, and fats. Okay, back to our nice little report here that I've compiled for everyone. I also threw in this basic chart that these scientists are so good enough to share with the public. But you have the carbohydrate digestive enzymes, basically the salivary amylase that's in the saliva, the pancreatic amylase that is secreted by the pancreas, and the maltase from the small intestine. So, we've got all these enzymes that are being released in order to digest our foods. So we have detection mechanisms in the body that detects when a food has entered the body, and right away it goes to work to make sure that these enzymes are produced so that we can effectively digest and absorb the nutrients in those foods. Alrighty, so let's get into metabolic enzymes. So those were the food enzymes we just looked at. Now, the metabolic enzymes that we produce in the body, metabolism, it's all about how fast your body uses nutrients and turns them into energy and distributes the nutrients to do all the functional work that keep us alive and thriving and healthy. So metabolism, it describes all chemical reactions inside of our trillions of cells. Metabolic enzymes are proteins that facilitate the many metabolic processes. They speed up and slow down biochemical reactions. They control metabolic pathways that allow efficient nutrient utilization and energy production. And also, they break down or catabolize and build new molecules, also anabolize, to meet the body's biochemical and energy demands. So our bodies are always at work, just breaking things down, repurposing them, building new molecules, but nothing can happen unless we have enzymes that are from our food so that we can boost our own enzyme production without having to dip into our own living tissues to produce an enzyme. So if we didn't eat any raw enzyme active foods, then our bodies would be forced to break down its own tissues in order to produce an enzyme that it needs for a certain biochemical process. Now, this slows everything down, as you can imagine, and we have a net effect of a nutrient deficiency. So we need to take in raw foods. 50% at least of all your foods should be raw. the ones that you don't cook, the ones that you don't freeze, the ones that you don't, uh, um, adulterate in any way. So eating fresh, raw, organic whole foods will give you the optimal nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, but those even can't be used if you cook the food. Cooked foods are fine. They taste good. We love our steamed vegetables or soups and stews, right? We cook the vegetables in those dishes. But if we eat raw foods, salads, and just raw snack foods, plenty of leafy greens and herbs and raw nuts and seeds, unroasted, unsalted. Keep them refrigerated. It's important to keep the nuts and seeds refrigerated, but we want to keep the enzymes action in these active in these foods so that when we take them in, then right away our bodies know exactly how to use those enzymes, not only to break down that very food and use that, but to also create all of these living cells. All of their actions require enzymes to be catalysts for every single biochemical reaction. All right, so I kind of got off the script here. That's okay. I do that all the time. Metabolic enzymes are proteins that facilitate the many metabolic processes, like I just said. All right, yeah, I did. I already read all that, so I'll just move on here. So here is another image where they describe the catabolism. Large molecules are broken down into smaller ones, releasing energy. And also anabolism, small molecules are assembled into larger ones using energy. So it takes energy to build new body tissues, to build new cells, to replicate our DNA and continue on with the being alive. Our bodies are constantly turning over from old cells to new cells, but we need those nutrients. But we can't use those nutrients unless we have those enzymes in raw foods so that we can perpetuate and not have a nutrition deficit that forces us to break apart our own tissues to produce the enzymes we need uh, for more things like the brain and the other vital organs, the kidneys and the liver. All of those must be maintained. They have priority. So the rest of the muscles and the connective tissues and hair and skin and nails, those things have to be sacrificed. They'll stop growing if you're not taking in enough of the nutrients, enough protein foods, of course, but other nutrients that are in and active in the plant kingdom. So we have the leafy greens, the fresh fruits, and the berries. The berries are tremendously healthy foods. So, just putting it all together like that, uh, I have a system that I created. Those of you who've been watching my channel and those of you who are already members of the Institute know that I produce books and I produce Nutritional Synergy, a system that will allow you to choose foods that are very energy active, very enzyme active, in addition to the proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, of course, that we need. But the vitamins and the minerals, all of those whole food complexes in the raw plant food kingdom are one of the keys to maintaining our optimal health vibrancy. So I thought I would show you, catabolism is breaking things down, and anabolism is building things up in the body. So the process of metabolism involves many interconnected cellular pathways to ultimately provide cells with the energy required to carry out their function. In summary, some are involved in cell signaling in response to hormonal signals and changes in the body's environment. So our nervous system is always in communication with the other systems, especially the hormonal system, which is the police force in the body. It starts and stops, the thousands upon thousands, even millions and billions and trillions, depending on what the body's doing, the different systems that operate in the body all the time. So they always need to communicate. What does it take to communicate? One of the main things are the enzymes. So influence cell differentiation, including growth and development and specialized functions, that means breaking down glucose for energy production. Once you take in a carbohydrate food, which is whole food carbohydrates, not refined sugars, not white flour, not white rice. Those are all so refined and so depriving you of nutrients. They're more depriving you of your aliveness than food that is whole, intact, with the fiber and water the right types of fats that are in the foods. So my synergy system explains all of that. So breaking down glucose for energy production involved in the production of ATP, which is the body's unit of energy. So everything that our body does has to work to produce a unit of energy known as adenosine triphosphate or ATP. So enzymes are absolutely necessary for producing energy in the body. They also help utilize fatty acids for producing cellular fuel. So our bodies are using glucose for fuel, breaking down fatty acids for helping to fuel certain parts of the cell, certain areas of our metabolism, and also involved in detoxifying the body, eliminating foreign substances out of the body. So enzymes are the catalyst for helping the body get rid of toxins. This could be synthetic toxins exogenously, we come in contact with things in the environment, or using toxic synthetic chemicals, or anything that does not nourish the body, is not a nutrient, and is toxic to the body, including when we are under stress, we produce the stress chemicals. So those are called free radicals. Everything that does not belong in the body or is causing the body metabolic distress are called free radicals. So, our enzymes are very important for detoxifying as well. And also, they're essential for maintaining biochemical and energy homeostasis. So, homeostasis meaning we are biochemically balanced. We're not being alarmed. The body is calmly processing nutrients because you've nourished it properly and not fed it anything that causes the nervous system or the hormonal system to become, just overreactive and excited and panicked, and, the stress that occurs when we don't take care of our bodies. So maintaining that calm, that inner calm, so that our bodies can do their best work to maintain our health. Also essential for synthesizing proteins, these nucleic acids, and all of the cellular components that are inside of our cells, these little organelles that are little energy producing factories, protein producing factories, repackaging this and repackaging that. I mean, our cells are always busy keeping us alive and perpetuating this life, and we cannot do it without enzymes. All right, so they're also essential catalysts for the biochemical reactions that impact the gut microbial community and the gut environment. Our colon is extremely important. Once the food is digested and it's on the way out, then the body will automatically detect if there are any residual nutrients it can use and try to reabsorb those nutrients, and in the process maintains a healthy, aerobic, oxygen-loving bacterial environment that's very beneficial for our health. These beneficial bacteria actually send signals to our brain. So our health is definitely connected with the extent to which you maintain a healthy colon. And that means eating the right foods. That's all you have to do. Eating the right foods, 50%, 50 to 75% of raw, enzyme active, light energy frequency holding active, high water content foods, a variety of very beneficial fiber, to help maintain the structure and strength of our peristaltic action in our intestines. So it all hinges on whether we take in enough raw food enzymes so that we can maintain our own store of enzymes and our own ability to produce our enzymes when we need them. So essential catalysts for the biochemical reactions that impact the gut microbial community and the gut environment, a complex ecosystem in direct communication with the brain, which is called the gut-brain axis, and the body's glandular system through the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal, or the HPA axis. So we've got the gut-brain axis and the axis that interacts with the glandular system, with the hypothalamic, pituitary, and adrenal glands. Okay, so that we've got a lot of information interacting with the nervous system, with the hormonal system, and even the immune system. And it all hinges on the level of raw foods that you take in and how your body's able to turn around and generate all of these thousands of enzymes we need. Okay. So now we have the food enzymes. So the enzymes in all raw foods provide the all essential enzymes the body needs to most thoroughly digest foods and to build the metabolic enzymes for every cellular and biochemical process in the body. So food enzymes are produced in the cells of raw, fresh plant foods. They're destroyed or denatured by heat and chemical agents. So processed foods are out. They do you no good. They absolutely harm you because they're lacking in nutrients, and they usually have, they have been leached into these foods from the the packaging, the plastics or the lined canned goods, the chemicals that line the cans inside. So if you store foods in the plastic packages that come from the store, or if you have a frozen food, first of all, frozen foods, the enzymes have been destroyed. And then so you put them in the freezer and the plastics they're in will leach into the food. So we want to keep foods completely fresh if at all possible. And if you do want to freeze your own raw foods, then that can be done easily too. Just store them in a nice airtight container in the freezer until you're ready to use them. And that will also keep the enzymes. You don't have to blanch them the way the factories do, the food manufacturing plants do. They do this to prolong the shelf life of these foods, but then in so doing, they're destroying the enzymes. When you cook temperatures over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, okay, the boiling point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So, 120 is just half of that practically, right? So you want to just minimize cooking your fresh fruits and vegetables, that kind of thing. You want to eat as many raw foods. Smoothies or juicing is excellent because you get to put a lot of them into a tall glass and drink them down, right? So you still have the fiber. Do not use a food processor. They're wonderful, but they take out the important fibers. So you want a blender, and that'll work just as well, and it'll produce a liquid for you. So you can drink your fiber as well. People who have irritated colons or intestinal inflammation, then the smoothies or the drinks made in the blenders are much easier on the digestive tract and also are very beneficial too. These plants that are in the plant kingdom that are so beneficial for our health, they contain the phytochemical compounds that are known to restore and regenerate our tissues and detoxify gently and just hydrate the body and provide all of the potential healing value that the body's looking for. So also, raw, fresh plant foods contain their own self-digesting enzymes that allow the body to easily digest them. So raw food drinks are just wonderful. Excuse me while I take a drink here. So let's get into what it looks like when you have enzyme deficiencies and what are the health consequences. So a lack of enzymes from raw foods in the diet can lead to abdominal pain, gas, cramps, and diarrhea, fatty, greasy, foul-smelling stools, fatigue, low energy, anemia, unexplained weight loss due to poor nutrient absorption. So poor absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins, the A, D, E, and K, leading to bone issues, or night blindness over time. Also, lack of enzymes from raw foods in the diet can lead to hemolytic anemia, muscle weakness, developmental impairments or delays, such as brain degeneration, learning problems, feeding, appetite difficulties, particularly in children, enlarged organs, depending on which type of enzyme, digestive or metabolic, such as from the liver or spleen, spasticity, increased muscle tone or hypertonia, stiffness or resistance to passive movement, and involuntary muscle contractions like spasms can affect any muscle group, but is commonly experienced in the limbs, face, and trunk. and they can cause pain, fatigue, difficulty walking, problems with speech and swallowing. And also clonus, which means the rapid rhythmic contractions and relaxations. Just rapid spasming of muscles. Difficulty with movement and mobility. So you see, if you have a diet that is missing the plant kingdom, raw foods, then you're not going to be able to produce the enzymes to avoid all of these deficiency symptoms. So how food enzymes alleviate ailments? All right, let's take a look at some of these foods. The enzymes in tropical fruits contain the most anti-inflammatory, proteolytic, or protein digesting enzymes. So all of the tropical fruits are just filled with these wonderful digestive enzymes. Many people who live in the tropics and they eat a high-fat diet, they never have any digestive issues and they're not overweight because they also pair it with these raw enzyme active tropical foods. Papaya, pineapple, banana, mango, and kiwi fruit are just some examples. So I'm directly quoting what this group of scientists have mentioned here in their work. So this is why I highlighted it in yellow, so that you can see, just what the scientists are saying. So I'm not going to read this paragraph verbatim because I don't think it really applies to the subject matter that we're addressing at this moment. But they do say that in addition to the vitamins and mineral values of foods, of plant foods, they also contain several bioactive constituents that have been shown to possess health promoting properties. And this is my work in abundance. That sentence there just pretty much summarizes the books I've written, the classes that I've taught, the ongoing information I'm always providing to my students and audiences, and as a consultant, then that's the gist of it. These foods have thousands of these wonderful biochemical compounds that have so many beneficial properties. Some of these compounds, like the polyphenols, the phytosterols, the biogenic amines, the carotenoids, these are all huge classifications with many, many subclassifications of plant compounds, and they've been reported to be beneficial for human health. And I have literally, thousands of scientific references that back this up. And so scientists have found that a lot of these plant chemicals, which are especially enzyme active, by the way, have been helping cases of cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes, as well as for people with gut, immune function, and neurodegenerative disorders. And again, I'm quoting the scientific work here. I'm not making any medical claims. I am not a medical doctor, but, we don't make medical claims here. We make scientific assertions, and this is backed very, very well by many thousands of scientists throughout the world. So, previous studies have reported that bioactive components possess antioxidative, which means neutralizing those free radicals, anti-inflammatory, and immunomodulatory properties. So they assist the immune system, in addition to improving intestinal barrier functioning, making sure that the intestinal environment is operating or functioning properly, which contribute to their ability to mitigate the pathological impact of various human diseases. So again, the scientists are out to prove the medicinal qualities or the health restoring qualities of these phytochemical compounds in thousands of botanicals, plants that we eat. So food is thy medicine and medicine is thy food. It's so true. Okay, it also says, let me see here. All righty. So again, this was taken from a peer-reviewed study, which means a panel of experts evaluated sometimes thousands, sometimes hundreds of scientific articles and pulled out the most credibly performed scientific research that scientists embarked on to come to a certain conclusion as to the health benefits of plants. So this is true with any kind of scientific research. A panel of highly qualified experts, scholars, will review the best, most credible research that's been done and put it together in one summarized report. So that's what I love to look at because they do all that. They do all of that groundwork, a footwork for us. So again, if this is a review, I'm taking this information from. So it'll describe the bioactive components that are derived from fruit, vegetables, cereals, and other plant sources with health-promoting attributes, and the mechanisms responsible for the bioactive properties of some of these plant components. So I borrowed their charts here. And so on the left chart, we have a plant-derived bioactive components. So we've got the polyphenols, the carotenoids, the biogenic amines, the dietary fiber, the bioactive peptides, and the vitamins, and they should have minerals in here too. But these are some of the active components that are found in the plants that have so many benefits. My book, Eating for Physical, gosh, oh, I can't think of my book's name. I can see the the cover, but like I said, it's very late, and I usually don't have any trouble remembering the name of my book. But I'm referring to Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health right here. So this is a 631-page book and a huge section on 109 botanicals and all of their beneficial health promoting properties. And those are all the monographs, the scientific monographs for every single botanical in this book was taken from peer-reviewed studies like the ones that we're looking at right now. That was my point. Okay. Yes, I will get a good night's sleep tonight. All right, so now let's take a look at the other chart. And, I never forget this, but I actually forgot to bring my charger over here, so I have to excuse myself. One moment, please. I shall return. Okay, I apologize for that. Alrighty, so this one, it shows the potential health benefits of all of these bioactive components in plants. They have been shown to reduce oxidative stress and improve brain health. So anytime that the body starts deteriorating, or even a plant, if it's out in the wild or if it's in a farm or anywhere else that you see, you bring produce home from the grocery store, and if you don't eat them in time, this oxidation process takes place and they get ruined, right? So that is the oxidative process. So, these plants will prevent the degenerative effect of our own cells that way. And also improved lipid profile. So anyone who has problems with fat metabolism, overweight, or even blood sugar issues, then these biochemical compounds in these botanicals will have been shown to improve your blood lipid profiles. Also improved gut health. They have antimicrobials built into these plants. So these phytochemicals will also go in and destroy, all the illness-causing microbials, the bacteria and the viruses and the parasites, and the fungi, things like that don't belong in the body but are causing illness. Then those botanicals are shown to just to help the immune system get rid of them. Anti-diabetes. So a lot of these biochemicals will also go in and aid the the function of the pancreas in producing insulin and the detection mechanisms to help remove excess blood sugar out of the bloodstream so that they don't go into, diabetic shock, things like that. So they have many, many benefits that help, especially type 2 diabetes, to be under control. Now, again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not making medical claims. What I am quoting is the very highly credible, inarguable uh, scientific research. Anti-cancer, this has been proven in both living subjects and in the laboratory. So in vitro, meaning, they test all these different types of cancer cells in various mediums that they grow them in, and they keep them going for generations upon generations, not our generations, but the generations of how long the cells survive, right? So they perpetuate these the cells so that they can study them and use them to see, say which phytochemical compound destroyed this group or cell line of cancer cells in the laboratory. And a lot of these studies have been utilized on animal subjects and even human test subjects. So there's plenty of research and evidence out there showing that these plant compounds will destroy cancer or help the body destroy cancer. And a lot of them even act on their own to disable the ability of cancer cells to grow. Also, attenuation of cardiovascular diseases and blood pressure. So all of these wonderful thousands of plant chemicals that are in a huge variety of plants cannot do their work without these active enzymes. So the key is to eat raw foods and make sure that you preserve them properly in the refrigerator. Sometimes you can keep herbs in water, little containers of water, and just change the water out every couple of days, and they remain crisp. They don't degenerate, they don't oxidize and get ruined in the refrigerator if you don't eat them in time. So keeping them in water sometimes. I do that with my baby carrots. I do that with my cilantro and parsley and green onions and celery. You can keep things in water in the refrigerator and they'll triple their shelf life in the refrigerator. So these are little nutrition tidbits for you. So anyhow, this is really, I hope that I'm driving this point home, just how important raw foods really are. So again, quoting the scientists here, inflammation is a multifaceted biological response of the immune system against various harmful stimuli, including pathogens like bacteria and viruses, against cellular damage, toxins, and natural synthetic irritants. This protective mechanism is essential for eliminating the cause of injury, removing damaged cells, and initiating the repair process. While inflammation is a fundamental component of the body's defense and healing process, its dysregulation can lead to pathological consequences, contributing to various acute and chronic diseases, such as autoimmune disorders, cancer, metabolic syndromes, cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative conditions, and other systemic complications. Generally, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs, corticosteroids, disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs, or DMARDs, antihistamines, biologics, and colchicine, I can't say that word, colchicine, are used as pharmacological agents in the management of inflammatory diseases. However, these conventional treatments often have limitations, including adverse side effects. How many of you have looked up the side effects of your medications at the Medline Plus website? If you haven't, do so. Medline Plus I guess it's gov or org, I'm not sure, but if you just do a search on the word Medline Plus and the search word drug side effects, it'll take you right to that right page, and you can look up any drug out there and you can see what the side effects are. They're horrendous. They're ridiculous. Oftentimes, they even seem to contradict the very symptom that your doctor prescribed them for, or the very, illness. Okay, so once again, YouTube, do not put me on probation again. I'm not making any medical claims. I am quoting the absolutely most credible, peer-reviewed scientific data, and this is a direct quote from them. All right, however, conventional treatments often have limitations, including adverse side effects, long-term toxicity. It's not like it's a temporary damage that they do, and drug resistance, or the body may not respond in the intended manner. In contrast, enzyme-based therapeutics have emerged as a promising alternative due to their high specificity, catalytic efficiency, and ability to modulate inflammatory pathways with reduced side effects. These enzymes function by scavenging reactive oxygen species, which is a stress chemical the body produces when it's under stress, called, shortened as ROS, inhibiting cytokine transcription, degrading circulating cytokines, and blocking cytokine release by targeting exocytosis-related receptors. So we're talking about the cell membranes and how they're reacting to the environment. Additionally, their role in tissue repair and regeneration further enhances their therapeutic potential. So they help repair tissues. They don't cause inflammation, they attenuate, and they reduce the root cause of the inflammatory reaction in the body. Okay, so then they go on and mention different kinds of natural anti-inflammatory enzymes. So, they just name things, and some of them you might find, familiar, but superoxide dismutase, which is the SOD, is a good enzyme that the body produces to fight the reactive oxygen species, inflammatory enzyme that the body might be producing. Okay, and so I'm just going to highlight the rest of these enzymes so that you can see just how diverse they are. Okay, these are the natural ones. And then the scientists mentioned engineered enzymes, that are used in the medical system. But again, the side effects, the body knows whether something is supposed to be there or not, knows whether it's going to be a natural enzyme or a laboratory, concocted kind of enzyme. So these person or engineered enzymes, person-made engineered enzymes, if you look at them molecularly, even submolecularly, they're going to fall very, very severely short of their any positive effect they might have on the body. Whereas if you were to look at the holographic, extremely complex, subatomic quantum energy level of these natural enzymes, then you're going to see that they are so much more vibrant and moving and sparking of the life energy that has been infused in all living things. So a lot of these laboratory-made things don't have that extra energy, emission. So this review provides a comprehensive overview of both natural and engineered enzymes. So yeah, they're just summarizing, their report here. So I don't think we need to go over that. So I'm also borrowing this chart. So they list all the different enzymes, right? The anti-inflammatory therapeutic enzymes, the natural enzymes. So as you can see, these pink lines over here kind of separates out the few engineered enzymes, and then the natural enzymes that are produced in the body or in plants are way over here. So if we were to do a search on every single one of these enzymes, we would find this whole vast amount of information on what these enzymes do for the body. So we need the natural enzymes from the plant kingdom so that we can produce our own and we can utilize the enzymes in these wonderful plants. Okay, so I'm not even going to go there with the engineered enzymes because it's been my experience that anything that is synthetically engineered has a chain reaction of inflammatory responses in the body, and they don't do nearly as good as the naturals. Okay, sorry, I have a a gnat that's bothering me here. I'm just going to get rid of it. It's been flying around all evening. Okay, so and this is where the scientists and all their work. If you want to go into detail, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but if you want to click on these links and look at the this vast amount of work that's been reported from all these gathered from all these different scientists from around the world and summarized here for us. There's a lot of other charts here. I'm tempted to explore this, but I don't want to waste too much of our time here. It wouldn't be a waste, but it would still be time consuming. So anyhow, in conclusion, this is what I hope we learned tonight. Enzymes should never be underestimated. Enzymes are the keys to achieving optimal health vibrancy. 50% to 75% of raw foods in a balanced daily diet are critical for preventive health maintenance, preventing rapid aging, preventing degenerative conditions. Your body is going to start breaking down if you don't take in enough dietary enzymes. Having abundant energy. Our unit of energy, ATP, relies on enzymes to keep it going. Enzymes are sparks of life. Building a strong body with all systems optimally functioning. So we need enzymes for every single body system. And not to worry about pain, inflammation, or having optimal health to enjoy disease-free freedom for life. So in order to have optimal health, to stay younger longer, to be physically active, body, mind, and soul, take in your raw foods. They are so, so important. All right, and I always list the references that I get. I do my research, I do a deep dive, I verify my own knowledge. Sometimes I'll write something down and think I'm pretty sure I know that, but I'm going to follow myself up with some really great scientific references. So when you've got the scientists on your side, I've been studying their work for 45 years. I pretty much can gather data from these studies and share them and summarize them for people. But it's really nice when you can do a deep dive on these references. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for you. So if you like what you have heard tonight, please like, share, and subscribe on this channel. We definitely need, more people to spread the word of this. The only way to obtain this true health vibrancy, to be disease-free, to truly master your health. Every week I provide information that is extremely important to know, because without the information, then you might be led astray to the wrong information and spend money where you end up disappointed or perhaps might even be harmful for your health. People who are selling products out there, they don't have the extensive education and scientific background and experience and practice. I've applied knowledge to my clients and providing them with nutritional protocols that, when I take this information from the scientists, the peer-reviewed science, and produce a protocol for people, and their health improves, then that just proves the science was right. So when the science matches the results, then that's when you've got something. Okay, so prevention is the key, yes, but I've seen people recover from many, many different types of conditions based on what the science provided us. So that's why I wanted to show you the book, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. And I mentioned my nutritional synergy system. These are all my books. If you go to holisticchoices.com and you click on, Books by Mary Esther-Gilbert, you'll land on this page. So this nutritional synergy system is something that I developed for my clients years and years ago, and over the years I've perfected it. And so everyone uses this. Everyone who comes to me for help, everything that I teach off of is the culmination of all the research I've done in putting together a food choice system that has more categories than any other food guidelines I've ever seen. Because when you separate the food categories according to their phytonutrient value, then you have a much more comprehensive and wide range of healing potential to help the body detoxify and to function at the cellular level correctly, rather than in a diseased state or a degenerative health state. So it's all about the science matching the results, and this is what I base all of my work on. Alrighty, so this is, again, if you go to holisticchoices.com and you see all the links on the side, you can click on the Books by Mary Esther Gilbert, takes you right back to that book page. Or if you go to my True Health Mastery Institute page, if you'd like to be schooled on the science behind what it takes to be optimally healthy and to gather more and more knowledge so that you become more and more easily able to master your health and make the health management choices that keep you out of hospitals, away from the toxic drugs. Now, I never tell people to get off their drugs. That's up to them and their doctors. But I have found that when a person gets healthy, the body chooses the nutrients it needs to repair itself, regenerate itself, and optimize its health. Then they go back to their medical people and they say, well, keep doing what you're doing. The medical doctors, I think their hearts are in the right place, some of them, and they want to help, but they just don't have those years and years of study and research on the nutritional physiology, the physiology of how the body works, how the body uses nutrients. So bridging that gap has been, many, many years of effort. And I think it's finally starting to infiltrate and to bridge that gap of communication and trust and understanding. So this page here will tell you all about the True Health Mastery Institute of Holistic Personal Health Management, and I conduct live calls every Friday. I call them Friday Night Live. If you'd like to be on the mailing list and have an invite sent to you, then I will go ahead and put you on our list, and all you have to do is click the contact form here and just type, your name and your email, and tell me you want to be included in the mail list for the Friday night calls at the True Health Mastery Institute. So, and if you decide to join after 2 free, calls, you can come in. Anyone's welcome to join for the first 2 sessions that you join us with. And after the third one, then of course I will ask you if you'd like to join or not. So this keeps it fair to those who are paying members. But also, I'd like to recruit as many people as possible to enjoy and take advantage of the knowledge that I've gathered over the years. And it's continuously ongoing research for me. I'm never going to stop learning. Everything that I'm learning, I'm sharing. I'm producing books. I do these live calls for free, and I produce these videos to put on my YouTube channel. So I'm trying to get the word out. We have a sick population out there, a population that does not know how their own bodies work. And the only ones they can trust are the medical system, which is not always your best friend, to put it mildly. So the more empowered you are with how your body works and the nutrients it is looking for every single moment you're alive, to perpetuate your aliveness and your optimal health vibrancy, then that's better for you to get educated. And rather than going down all these alleys that are dead ends, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation out there, you have someone here right in front of you that has done the research, is doing ongoing research and seeing the results. That is the key, is when the science matches the health results of people who implement what the scientists have found. So putting together nutritional protocols is just a matter of paying attention to what the recent scientific research is done. Sometimes I pull information from studies that have been done 50 years ago or longer or older, because we need more modern, obviously, ongoing research. And in most areas of where the botanicals that I'm recommending to people, the research is very recent. It's, goes back maybe 10 years, sometimes a little more, but certainly not 50 years, certainly not 30 years, 20 years sometimes. But normally it's anywhere between 10 years ago, 5 years ago, up to the present, this year. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And I definitely encourage anyone who would like to join the True Health Mastery Institute, I welcome everyone because we truly need to empower you so that you can know more about your own human body and prevent all of the health issues that are so rampant in our population today. 99% of them are preventable. And it's been my experience as a professional in, gathering the scientific data and summarizing them into nutritional protocols for people, writing the books, and just putting the information out there any which way possible so that we can have a healthier humanity. We definitely need a healthier population. Alrighty, so that's pretty much what I'm going to talk about tonight. I think that was pretty much it. I do have an online course. One more thing, the True Health Mastery Institute online course. This nutritional synergy course is based on my nutritional synergy system. So, you can click on that online course link that I just clicked on. I don't know if you saw me click on it, but it's right here, online courses. And you just go to here and you can take a look at the descriptions of the 15 modules in the course. It's a self-paced course, and you do get a certificate of completion when you've gone through all of the modules of the course. So going through the modules, and of course, if you use the Nutritional Synergy book along with each module, which match every single chapter in the book, then you will get a very in-depth education on how your body works and all the nutrients your body needs in order to return it to normal functioning. Okay, so you can just load more and take a look at all the rest of the modules. So yeah, just explore my website. You're welcome to just come in and take a look at this website. It has many, many resources and links to my YouTube channel as well. But you're already here, so I know you found me on my YouTube channel. But there's a lot of videos on this website as well, but mostly they're on YouTube. Okay, and I think that's it for now. So again, I thank you for joining me tonight, and thank you for your patience and for being here with me. Hopefully you've reached the end of the video. But yeah, this is life-saving information that I'm offering to people. This is a serious, serious thing that I'm doing here for my fellow human beings. I truly want everyone to experience the optimal health vibrancy that I've been able to apply to my own health. I'll be 71 in a couple of months, and I don't feel 71, whatever that feels like. I think that when someone knows how to take care of their bodies optimally, then they're going to everyone else, they're going to appear younger looking, right, for their age. But I think when everyone is in their optimal health vibrancy, everyone should look healthy and vibrant and have zero health issues, right? So that's possible. Like I said earlier, most ailments are 99% nutrient deficiencies. And I get that percentage from the famous Linus Pauling. He won 2 Nobel Peace Prizes, and he was always being quoted as to, just telling people that most illnesses are because of nutrient deficiencies. And I found that to be true in my professional experience, and just helping people nourish their bodies completely and correctly, and just turning all of the bad things they didn't know they were doing, eating the wrong foods and unhealthy lifestyles. And once that is all corrected, then they turn into these vibrantly healthy persons that always went on to make much more amazing choices in their lives. So it's always exciting to see. And I really want this to happen to you too. If you're suffering from any health issues, take a look at what I have to offer here and see what it does for you. Okay, so I'm going to say goodnight here. Okay, so see you next time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you very much. Bye-bye.